we're talking about food sensitivities, it's probably worthwhile starting with a few definitions. Most people use the terms allergies, sensitivities, intolerances all interchangeably, but they're actually all different. Allergies are the instantaneous thing that can actually be life-threatening in some people, and the most common or the most famous ones are the peanut allergies or the shell food allergies. You might get a swelling of the throat and have to be rushed to the hospital. Food sensitivities are like a low-key, delayed allergy. You might not even notice them or connect the symptom with the food. So it could be like bloating in the belly, or you get some postnasal drip in your nose, like a day after you've eaten a certain food or a combination of foods. And then you've got intolerances. So that's actually the body's inability to digest or break down something properly. And the most common one that we hear of is lactose intolerance. Lactose is the sugar in milk, and it's just the inability to break it down. And this is a genetic thing as well. And it's most likely bloating and wind and gas in the guts that you'll get from lactose intolerance. This isn't a common thing that you'll hear, but food sensitivities can make you fat. Here's a blog by functional medicine expert Dr. Hyman. He shares a research study on dietary selections on how bad food choices can cause inflammation in our guts, which over time can lead to an increase in body fat. Basically, systemic inflammation is linked to insulin resistance, and we've already learned how bad that can be for our body weight. I use food sensitivity testing a lot in my clinic, so I'm going to give you my top 5 list of the most common food sensitivities that I see. Okay, number 1, E. coli. It's wheat and dairy, without a shadow of a doubt. I see them all the time when I have a gut issue and I test for that. They're pretty much always there. Number 2 is corn or maize. So it's the modern, often genetically modified corn that's the problem. Number 3, yeast. So that could be baker's yeast in bakery products, or brewer's yeast, which is found in wine and beer. So I do make a few enemies with that one. Number 4 is eggs, but more specifically egg whites are more common. So it's a bit tricky to find a substitute for. And then 5th is nuts. Not a particular nut like a peanut has an allergy. It's just, it could be any particular nut or range of nuts for that person. The type of testing I use is called IgG, whereas IgE testing is the type for food allergies. It's not foolproof. The allergy/sensitivity field is quite complex, so you have to use a combination of test results and client experience. So if they're able to tell you, okay, I've got these symptoms based on consuming these foods, and then you do the test, you can marry that information. So you can find a good protocol for that person. Testing is always expensive though, so there is actually a free option, and it's called an elimination challenge test. So you take out some common food sensitivities for a certain period. I normally say at least 10 days, but 2 or 3 weeks is better, and then you bring them in one at a time. So because I normally do a 3-week detox, as I've already shared with you, I normally piggyback on that process. With the detox, I'm already taking out common food sensitivities. So then when the detox is over, I'll give the person a 2-day period to introduce one food or food type at a time. And then they keep a diary and they're looking for reaction to that particular food. And the way this process actually works is because when you're consuming something that the immune system doesn't like and it's reacting to it, when you take that out for a few weeks, the immune system says, oh, great, I can have a rest now, I'm not going to have to deal with this wheat or dairy that comes in every day, so it relaxes a bit. But guess what, after 3 weeks you suddenly drink a whole lot of milk or have some poor quality yogurt, and what happens to the immune system? It has a tantrum. So what we're looking for is reactions that are much stronger than you actually get with day-to-day consumption. An example I have is a client I used to work with. We did a 3-week detox. He then went back to his dutiful sandwich every single lunchtime, but within half an hour of that sandwich every day, he had diarrhea. He was running to the toilet. That didn't happen before, so it was a very obvious message to him, hey, the wheat in this bread is not good for you. If, however, you choose to continue eating these foods that are just, reactive to the immune system, you can end up with some pretty horrible chronic health problems. The most common ones are in the gut. So IBS is, quite common. Reflux, acid reflux. Then you've got more serious things like inflammatory bowel disease, like colitis and Crohn's disease. Joint problems are quite common. So just inflammation of the joints, which can lead into rheumatoid arthritis in some cases. Then you've got skin issues, which can become eczema or psoriasis. You've got headaches, mood disturbances, depression, anxiety. These can actually all come from just eating the wrong food. So it's incredibly important to be vigilant with the types and the choices of food that you make. In 12 Steps to Wholesome Nutrition, I'll be greatly expanding on this fascinating subject, including giving you a homework exercise of the Elimination Challenge test.